The sun had barely stretched its golden arm across the quiet neighborhood when Mayan cracked open her front door. Her sleepy eyes instantly widened. There it was again. A bouquet of fresh roses wrapped in crisp white paper, dew still clinging to the petals as though the flowers had been plucked only moments ago. One bent down, her fingers trembling slightly as she picked them up, her lips curved into a smile before she could stop it. Every single morning, her voice was a soft murmur as she untied the ribbon. Inside the bouquet was a small folded note. She opened it quickly, her heart beating faster than she wanted to admit. For the girl whose laugh sounds brighter than spring, may today be gentle on you. Her cheeks flushed pink. She pressed the note against her chest and let out a sigh, half giddy, half nervous. At first, weeks ago, she had been frightened who leaves flowers at your doorstep daily without showing their face, but as time passed, fear gave way to a guilty little excitement. The anonymous notes were kind, romantic, and somehow knew how to reach places in her heart she didn't talk about. Still, she had no clue who the man behind them was. By the time she reached campus, the bouquet carefully tucked in her bag, her best friend Flora was already waiting under their favorite ginkgo tree, sipping iced coffee and eyeing wine suspiciously. So, another bouquet? She leaned forward, eyes sparkling mischievously. Come on, Wine, don't act innocent. You have been glowing lately. Spill. Wine tried to play it cool, but her blush betrayed her. I don't know who he is, and I am not glowing. You are imagining things. She stammered, adjusting her hair nervously. Flora snorted, dramatic as always. Please, every girl on campus wishes she had a secret admirer. You have got a man writing you poetry at dawn, and you are acting like you are solving a crime scene. Enjoy it. Before Ryan could protest, a familiar, arrogant voice sliced through the chatter of campus life. Poetry at dawn, don't tell me you actually fall for that cheap romance crap. He strode a black backpack hanging loosely on one shoulder, his presence sharp and impossible to ignore. Vine's stomach dropped. Of course, him. Her childhood enemy, the one boy who had made it his mission since they were kids to tease her until she saw red, the campus bad boy, tall, broad shouldered, tattoos peeking from under his sleeve, and that infuriating smirk permanently glued to his lips. Vine whipped around, glaring at him. Why are you always eavesdropping on my conversations? Don't you have a life, Jungkook? Jungkook is stepping closer, eyes flicking deliberately to the edge of the bouquet sticking out of her bag. Hard not to overhear when you sound so lovesick. Let me guess. Your secret admirer told you the sun rises just to see your face or some other cringe line like that? He chuckled darkly, clearing enjoying her embarrassment while Mayan's cheeks flamed. She hugged her back tighter against her chest. At least someone out there has a heart unlike you. Not everyone is a cold blooded demon. Jungkook leaned down slightly, his shadow falling over her. His voice dropped, teasing but edged with something else. A demon, huh? Funny, I think you like sparring with me too much for that. His eyes glinted, reading her like an open book while Vine's breath caught in her thread, but she quickly pushed him back with her words. Don't flatter yourself. If you were the last man on earth, I will still choose my secret admirer. While Flora sitting back and watching the two with a sign dramatically threw her arms up. Oh, for heaven's sake, you guys fight like an old married couple. Do you even hear yourselves? Both Vayan and Jungkook whipped their heads towards her at the same time, shouting in unison. We do not. The timing was so perfectly matched that a group of passing students burst out laughing. Mayan's face turned crimson, and Jungkook just smirked harder, clearly entertained by the fluster. Cute, you are blushing already, and your lover boy hasn't even shown his face. He stuffed his hand into his pocket, strolling past with that maddeningly slow swagger. Ryan clenched her fist, stomping her foot. I hate him. Flora leaned her chin on her palm, grinning knowingly. Hate. That's why you stare holes into his back every time he walks away. One gasped, scandalized. I do not, but deep down in a place she will never admit out loud, her heart raced for reasons she couldn't quite untangle between the mysterious flowers and Jungkook's constant presence. Her world suddenly felt far more complicated than she wanted it to. The warm aroma of roasted beans floated in the air as Vine and her mother sat in the kitchen table, soft sunlight spilling across the wooden counter. Two steaming mugs of coffee sat between them, and for the first time in a busy week, they had the comfort of just talking mother and daughter. Vine's mother reached across, touching the bouquet resting casually in the center of the table, bright roses perfectly wrapped today's delivery. So she began slowly, her voice laced with playful curiosity. Another one this morning, Van, who had just lifted her mug, froze. Her cheeks instantly turned pink. Mom, don't start, she muttered, sipping quickly to avoid her mother's amused gaze. Van's mother smiled, knowingly, eyes twinkling, as she traced a finger along the petals. I can't help it. My daughter has a secret admirer who leaves flowers every single day. What kind of mother will I be if I didn't tease her about it? Pine ground, hiding her face behind the mug. You are impossible. Her mother leaned closer, lowering her voice dramatically like they were sharing state secrets. You know, whoever he is, he must really love you. This is not casual. Flowers every morning, notes that make you smile when you think no one is looking. That's devotion, sweetheart. Vian's heart thumped painfully against her chest. She wanted to deny it, laugh it off, but part of her secretly cherished those very words. Still, she tried to roll her eyes, acting unaffected. He could be some creep, Mom. For all we know, he's just bored and trying to mess with me. Vine's mother tilted her head, studying her daughter's flushed face, then smirked like she had solved a riddle. Oh no, I think I know exactly who it is. Vine's hand still halfway to her mouth. What? Vine's mother sat back, crossing her arms with a confident nod. It's Jungkook. The name hit the air like a thunderclap. Vaya nearly choked on her coffee, coughing violently until her mother hurriedly pushed a napkin towards her. Are you out of your mind? She wheezed, clutching her chest. Her mother only laughed, completely unbothered. Don't look at me like that. I'm serious. That boy has been around you since you were children, and I have seen the way he looks at you, Ian, pretending to annoy you all the time, hovering near you, finding excuses to pick fights, classic signs. I bet he's been leaving those flowers. One slapped the table, her eyes wide with disbelief. Mom, no, absolutely not. Jungkook and I, we can't stand each other. Every time we meet, it's like a war. He mocks me, I scream at him. We both want to strangle each other. There is no way in the universe he will ever do something so romantic. Her mother only sipped her coffee calmly as if she had not just denoted a bomb. Keep telling yourself that, darling, but I'm a mother. I can see things you can't. Maya's mouth open, then closed. She wanted to argue, but the conviction in her mother's eyes shook her more than she cared to admit. Jungkook, the secret admirer, impossible, and yet her mind flashed back the way he always showed up out of nowhere, the way his teasing sometimes felt almost too personal, how even when he insulted her, his gaze lingering a little longer than it should. Wine shook her head furiously, pushing away the thoughts. Nope, not happening. He's the last person on earth who will send me roses. Jungkook June doesn't even know how to spell romantic. Her mother chuckled softly, reaching out to tuck a loose strand of hair behind Vine's ear. Sweetheart, sometimes love hides in the strangest places. Don't be too blind to see it. Vine stared at her, heart racing, refusing to let the possibility sink in, but deep inside, where she would not let herself look too closely, a small dangerous spark of doubt had already begun to flicker, and she was secretly wanted it to be real. Later that night, Vine tossed and turned all night, her mother's word echoing mercilessly in her mind. It's Jungkook. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw him. His smirk, his teasing eyes, the way he had drive her insane on campus. Could her childhood enemy, the boy she swore to hate forever, really be the one behind those flowers? By dawn, sleep had already completely abandoned her. Vine sat by the window, the curtain slightly parted, her eyes fixed on the street outside. She clenched the fabric tightly, heart pounding so hard she thought it might burst out of her chest, and then she saw him. A figure in a black hoodie, head covered, walking carefully toward her porch. He was holding a bouquet. Her breath caught in her thread. She leaned forward, squint to recognize, and then her world stopped. The hoodie sleeve shifted slightly as he bent down, revealing his hand, the veins, the rings, the tattoos. Her eyes widened in pure shock. No way, no freaking way. She whispered under her breath, clutching the curtain so hard her knuckles turned white. It was him, Jungkook. Before she could even think, words tore out of her mouth. Jungkook froze, his body jerking so hard he almost dropped the bouquet. He stumbled back, nearly tripping over his own feet, his hood slipping halfway as his wide eyes shot up towards her window. What the? He muttered, hand flying to his chest as if his heart had jumped out. But Vine wasn't done. Glued by adrenaline, she yanked the window open wide, and instead of heading to the door like a normal person, she climbed up into the sill. Yeah, what are you doing? He shouted in panic as she jumped down. Vine landed, wobbling slightly, but she didn't care. She marched straight up to him, fire blazing in her eyes. Caught red-handed, she hissed, jabbing a finger at his chest. What do you think you are doing, huh? Leaving flowers at my door like some creep? We are enemies, Jungkook. We hate each other. Jungkook slipped twitched not into his usual cocky smirk, but something softer, almost pain. He took a deep breath, lowering the bouquet slowly. You think we hate each other? His voice was low, steady, but I don't whine. I never did. Her mouth open, ready with 1,000 insults, but the seriousness in his eyes silenced her. The day I left the first flower you were grieving, your father had just passed away. You were breaking wine. His voice cracked slightly, and he looked away for a second, and I couldn't stand watching you hurt like that. I didn't know how else to help. So I gave you flowers every morning. To remind you you are not alone. Wine froze, her heart dropped. The anger draining from her face, replaced by a storm of emotion she couldn't name, her throat tightened painfully. You, her voice flattered. You saw me like that, Jungkook nodded, his jaw clenched. Every day. And it killed me. His eyes locked onto hers now, burning with raw honesty. You were always too stubborn to let me close, so I chose the only way I could silently because truth is, I am in love with you, Ian. Have been for years. Her heart crushed against her ribs. What failed her? You are insane, she whispered though her voice trembled. We fight all the time. Jungkook stepped closer, closing the space between them until she could feel his warmth. Because that's how we are chaotic, loud, fire and thunder, but even all that mess, you are the only one who makes my heart feel alive, and I don't want to hide it anymore. His eyes burned. She wanted to deny it, scream at him, push him away, but instead tears pricked her lashes and her lips quivered, and before she could stop herself, she threw her arm around him. Idiot, she muttered into his chest, her voice breaking. Why didn't you just tell me? Jungkook froze for a second, then slowly, carefully wrapped his arm around her, his lip curved into the softest smile she had ever seen on him. Because I was scared you will hate me even more, she pulled back just enough to glare at him, cheeks wet, eyes shining. You are still an idiot, but her lips trembled before curving into a shaky smile. You are my idiot, Jungkook chuckled, pressing his forehead to hers. Finally, they were in their own world when they both jumped like guilty teenagers as a voice of someone clearing their threat cut through the morning air. Vine's mother stood at the doorway, arm crossed, an amused smile tugging at her lips. Well, I told her it was you. Vine turned scattered, pulling back instantly, while Jungkook scratched the back of his neck, awkward but unable to hide his grief. Vine's mother shook her head, signing in mock exasperation. Come on inside, Jungkook. Have breakfast with us. Before Van could protest, her mother disappeared back inside and Van ground softly, covering her face. This is so embarrassing, she whispered. Jungkook leaned down, his lips brushing her ear, his voice deep and teasing. You are addicted to those flowers now, are not you? She peeked at him with red cheeks, whispering reluctantly. Yes, so don't you dare stop. His smirk returned, big and soft all at once. Flowers are fine, but soon you will be addicted to my kisses too. Maya's eyes widened and she shook his shoulder with a flustered frown. Shameless, but the smile tugging at her lips betrayed her, and when Jungkook laughed, holding the bouquet out to her again, she realized her mornings will never be the same because the boy she once thought she hated had stolen her heart completely with his small gestures.